Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with coverage of round 10 of the 2018 Tata Steel tournament. I'll show you the results and the cross table and the pairings for the next round at the end of the video. But first let's look at the game between Peter Svidler, 8 times Russian champion with white, and Svidler-Mamedyarov, Grandmaster from Azerbaijan, who is one of the 8 candidates that will play in Berlin in March to determine who will be Magnus Carlsen's challenger at the end of this year. After 9 rounds, Mamedyarov was half a point behind the leader Anish Giri, and Peter Svidler was on 50%. The game was played on the 24th of January 2018. c4 from Svidler, knight f6, knight f3, e6, knight c3, d5 and d4. Bishop e4, and we are in the Ragozin variation of the Queen's Gambit declined. Bishop g5 is the main move here, but Svidler decided to take in the center. Mamedyarov took back with the pawn, and again bishop g5 is the main move, has been the most popular move for a long time, but Svidler played bishop f4, and it was Grandmaster Sipke Ernst in the live broadcast who said that this move has recently become popular in this position. Knight e4 from Mamedyarov, and here queen b3 is the best move, but Svidler played queen a4 check on the 7th move, and Svidler-Mamedyarov said after the game that this is already a bad move. Black is already better here after only 7 moves. It's clear that Peter Svidler had not expected this variation and that he didn't know it very well. It is a check and it's attacking the bishop, and there's only one move to deal with that, and that is knight c6. Rook c1, because this knight is attacked twice, so it needs to be defended a second time. Mamedyarov castled, and as Grandmaster Eric Hansen explained that this knight on c6 is Black's problem piece. One day he will want to reroute that piece to a better square. And we'll see that in the game. g3 from Svidler, and Mamedyarov decided to go for it. He played g5. And this move is possible because the knight on c3 is pinned. If it hadn't been pinned, then white could have taken now on e4. And if you take back, then you can take with the knight on g5, because it's then only defended by the queen. But because the knight is pinned, g5 is possible. It's very much a move in line with Mamedyarov's style. A very enterprising style he has. Bishop back to e3. And there comes another pawn push, f5. An instructive comment was made by Grandmaster Hansen in the live broadcast. He said, Black is attacking white's king, while that king is still in the center and not safely on g1. Bishop g2 developing, and there comes f4. Mamedyarov was asked after the game if this was over the board inspiration, and he said it was. He said, I don't know if it's very good, but it's very nice going on the attack immediately with the f and g pawns. Svidler took on f4, Mamedyarov took on c3 with check, b takes, g takes f4, the bishop has to go again, and king h8 making room for the rook to g8. Here Anish Giri commented after his game was finished on this position, and he said that he had seen this position a long time ago, and he thought that c4 is the best way to play for white. White is already a bit worse, but c4 is the way to continue here. He said rook g8 and then rook g1, and black is slightly better, but it's still a game. Peter Svidler, after a long think, played, instead of c4, played queen b3. And Giri called this move insane. And he said you can only make such a bad move after thinking for a long time. If you don't think for a long time, you won't make a bad move. And I think we can all relate to that. Sometimes in a position we think for too long and then just miss something obvious. And that's what happened to Svidler here. Because now that problem piece that black has will be improved quite a bit. Knight a5, and Mamedyarov said that he thought he already had a winning position here. Attacking the queen, queen c2 and knight c4. And this is exactly what black wants. That knight on c6 is now a monster on c4. Rook d1 was played by Svidler and rook g8 attacking the bishop. Knight e5 from Svidler, a move that was called absolutely desperate by Anish Giri. Of course there's a threat, there's a nice threat of knight f7, check, winning the queen. You cannot instead play rook g1 to protect the bishop, because then there is bishop h3 and black wins. After knight e5, Mamedyarov took the knight, bishop takes e4, and the very nice move queen g5, which is threatening checkmate. The simple threat is queen g1, and if you take it, then the rook takes on g1, and it's checkmate. If you try and make some room for the king with bishop c1, then there is knight c4 covering the d2 square, and again queen g1 with checkmate on the next move is the threat. So after queen g5, Svidler took on f4. There really is nothing better. Queen takes f4, black is now a piece up. Bishop takes d5, attacking the rook, and bishop f5, attacking the queen. And here Peter Svidler resigned. He's known for resigning quite early, but as Giri remarked, here it's quite justified. There really is nothing to play for. Let's look at a few variations. The queen is hanging, so you have no time to take that rook on g8. If you play queen d2, then they looked at this variation in a live broadcast. Knight d3 check wins, because after king f1 it is checkmate on the spot. And if you take the knight, then there is rook a e8 check. Bishop interposes, rook takes check, d takes, queen takes check, queen e3, and there is a rook hanging on h1, and black has a winning position. If instead of going to d2 with the queen you go to c1, then we get a similar variation. Knight d3 check, you have to take rook a e8 check, bishop interposes, rook takes check, d takes, queen takes check, king d2. Now you cannot take on h1, but there is a nice checkmate. Let's show the variation till the end. Queen d3 check, king e1, rook e8 check, queen e3, rook takes check, f takes, queen takes check, king f1, and the checkmate move is bishop h3. Quite incredible that such a strong player as Peter Svidler can lose a game like this with white in 21 moves. And it was a very important win for Mamedyarov, who is back in the lead, the shared lead. These are the results of round 10. Ho Yifan against Adiban, both players at the bottom of the ranking list, played a long-fought draw. It was the last game to finish. Wei Yi and Caruana played a draw, and Giri and Karyakin also made a draw. And then there were 4 decisive results, and the higher positioned player in the rankings of this tournament won on each occasion. Kramnik beat Matlakov. We saw Svidler against Mamedyarov. Carlsen won a very nice game against Wesley So, and Jones lost with white to Anand. In the 9th round all the leaders drew apart from Anish Giri, and in the 10th round it was the other way around. Anish Giri drew and all the others won. So we have 3 people in the lead with 7 out of 10. Giri, Carlsen and Mamedyarov. Kramnik half a point behind. Anand half a point behind Kramnik. Wesley So and Sergei Karyakin on 5.5. Peter Svidler is -1. Wei Yi, Jones, Matlakov and Caruana on 4 out of 10. And Adiban and Ho Yifan are still at the bottom of the standings. Thursday the 25th of January will be the last rest day, and on Friday the 26th these are the pairings. Anand against Ho, So against Jones, Mamedyarov, Carlsen, Matlakov, Svidler, Karyakin, Kramnik, Caruana, Giri and Adiban against Wei. I will be here after the round to tell you what happened. Hope you enjoyed the video of Svidler-Mamedyarov quick win over Peter Svidler. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, and please leave a comment. If you liked the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media. You also may want to check out my Chess to Progress channel, the link is in the description box. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.